Welcome back, everybody, to Blackacre Ranch. Today is 100th episode. We're going to be covering some stuff about us, what we accomplished, what we would have done differently, starting a ranch from scratch, having nothing, like literally nothing animal related, and having no legit ranching experience, okay? So all this process, we're going to cover that now, some do's, some don'ts, I guess, what we accomplished, what we're going to do in the future. So stick with us. We're going to go through this bit by bit.
Ew, Daddy, ew.
Are you recording? Oh. Welcome back to Blackacre Ranch, everybody.
Happy 100!
All right, so today we are doing a 100th episode. So last week, or what, before this episode was 99.
There you go.
That means numerically we are officially at 100. So we thought we would do a episode to kind of tell you a little bit more about ourselves. We've been doing YouTube for about 16, 17 months now. And it's really hot and muggy, and I don't want to go outside and do all that junk over there. So we're going to introduce ourselves for number 100.
Yay.
And so both of us are doing it, and our kids are over there because they don't want to be in the film. So first point that I think we wanted to give was just a little bit of history about ourselves, okay? So if you didn't know, I'm an attorney, which means I suck a lot of money from people and that kind of junk. She is a housewife, right?
I'm a homeschool mom, too.
She homeschools. So we homeschool our kids. How many kids do we have?
All right, so we have 6 kids. Our oldest is 18, our youngest is 9, so we're kind of fun stage of life.
Yep. I kind of wanted to do this before my kids all grew up. And I technically get bored a lot. So, you know, I started with a career in one thing and then moved on to engineering and then decided to go do law. And I don't know, maybe now I'm a rancher. I don't know. I still practice law, but I wanted to do it before the kids got too old. But now the oldest 2 boys are kind of like, I like chicks. So, you know, they're not into gasoline, but they're into chicks, I guess, too much, and they don't come. They work on Saturdays.
I say they're working. Our boys have jobs and they work on the weekend.
Yeah. They're not too inclined to get rid of those jobs,
no.
Which is fine with me. They can save up money, and hopefully that means I pay for less of their stuff. But anyway, so we typically have our 4 younger, and that's kind of us. We still homeschool.
Yep.
And
finishing it up.
I don't know what else to say about us. If you have questions, let us know. Okay, next topic. So if you've been following the channel at all, or if you are smart enough to go back into our video history, you'll see that we started doing YouTube in March of 2020.
2020, baby.
We signed on the dotted line on this property the week before they shut the world down with COVID.
Yep.
So COVID was not our friend. But like a lot of things in life, you can take blessings out of some of the adversities in life. And I think when I look back and kind of think, what did we accomplish? You know, this was pretty much a church camp, okay? And there was nothing here. We had these buildings, this big pavilion, the big barn, the small house, the garage. And when we first got here, because the world shut down, my brother and his family had totally free time on Saturdays. And they were able to come out and help us a lot. So, you know, when we first got here, we started working about a bunch of demo and did a bunch of demo on these big buildings.
Not only does Jeff get bored, he dreams up crazy things. So this buffalo idea, this isn't like 2020. This is like going back to 2017, even before that. Go ahead and talk about your little buffalo love.
Well, I needed a piece of land, and to justify it, that you can write it off on taxes, you need to put something on it. And land in the city is too much, so you have to get something rural. And I can't be there all the time, so I needed something that could sustain itself without a lot of input. So we picked buffalo. And buffalo were the animals that we used to help get a tax write-off. But it's legit, right? This is a business. We're going to be selling meat. We're going to be selling things. We sell pigs.
Right,
eventually.
We're going to sell the babies, the calves. And for right now, just get us started.
Yep.
So, and this isn't like we just like decided, oh, buffalo, oh, let's buy some land. Like years, like how many buffalo conferences have we gone to?
Right, we've been going to buffalo conferences once or twice a year since 2017. COVID, of course, canceled a lot of that, but you know, we've been doing those. So on a national level with the National Bison Association, and then also the Texas Bison Association here in Texas. So
that's been really helpful. We've learned a lot. We've met a lot of good contacts. And really, like, at the Texas one, that's where we met Steve even. Like, we've really been blessed from those experiences. So we did a lot of demo at the beginning, which these are old buildings. So that big barn, that whole apartment system up there is like 1,500 square feet. You know, it took a few weeks. We got that all demoed out. And then this had a huge stage in the pavilion. Huge.
Yeah, the huge pavilion we had. Family, her brother and family came and they were here and they helped us strip out. They had a stage and I guess they had little presentations or dances or I don't know, whatever, theaters for camp. And we took that all out to open it up and use the space better.
So we're taking it down. Oh yeah, push it, push it.
There she goes.
You got it. Ooh, ooh. Pivoting right there at Amalia.
Here, let me try to try to get it off of this.
Look out. All right, we need this board to come out with it. There you go. Another one. Oop, that one came right out.
I'm looking at you kill your neck.
Like, I'm out of the way.
Almost.
Woo! There we go.
You suck, Ella. You suck.
Oh, Ella's good. There you go.
I think one of the other things that I liked is being able to get the mulcher out here, and of course we needed to get animals, and so we had a mulcher come out. We did a lot of the tree lines, and then we of course cleared out a bunch of space for this small pasture that is on just the west side of it. I think the mulching has been the funnest part, but then it was just starting a bunch of fence work.
Right. The mulching made it possible for us to do the fence work. This stuff has been so overgrown, we never would have gotten to some of those lines if we hadn't mulched it out.
Yeah.
We also have that small house all demoed out, cleaned up. Jeff's parents were here for that, his nephew and fiance, now wife. I mean, we've had a lot of helpers. It's been really nice.
So I guess you could say almost a third of our time it feels like has been doing demo, but there's been a lot of stuff and it just takes time. So if you were to look at pictures from before we got the property and look at it now, it doesn't look much difference. In fact, it probably looks worse now because I can't find time to mow. And so the grass is taller. This is the grass sizes, man.
You think it's grass?
Back there it was up to like here.
The grass, whatever weeds. But we've also done a lot of things that are just kind of not super visible, like the rainwater collection system. We put that on, we got gutters, we put it around this whole pavilion, 6,000 square feet. We can now store up to 10,000 gallons of water. When we don't have a leak, it stores it all very well and it's been working fabulously. So I'm grateful for the rain we've been getting, but we put that in last year and so far it's been doing good for us.
Another couple things, like we had that one area we fenced off for the pigs that we built in last year. We did our first round of pigs and we're on our second round this year. And then we've also built in that small containment area with the posts every 8 feet. So those were some bigger projects.
Yeah, that just
to get done.
Dedicated time for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that one where we're putting the handling facility. So I'll just let you guys know we have. Well, I don't know if I should tell them now. I'll tell you in a little bit. Oh, just the fencing, the fencing.
Which getting those 2 pastures set has been so key. I mean, it'd be great to have 3, and that's on the list, but being able to go back and forth between the 2, really a blessing right now. One more time, for reals, we have had a lot of awesome help, especially Jeff's brother Nathan, his family, Tiffany, their 3 kids. they have been really helpful, and we also, I mean, we have a lot of kids, and we really appreciate our kids helping, but I feel like they have a lot more personal investment in this. So those people who do not have to be here, who volunteer time, the missionaries who've come out and helped, other family, Jeff's parents, his nephew, my brother, his sister, my mom came out to visit. Anybody who's been able to come and help really is a blessing. So we appreciate all the helpers. Truly, if we've got a project, many hands make light work, especially on some of those long fencing lines. It sure made it a lot easier. So thank you for all the help we've gotten on this project.
Yeah, and especially also to like somebody like Steve. Okay.
Oh,
so
can't even explain that one. Like, huge thanks to Steve.
Honestly, Steve is like, gosh, what's that guy from Home Improvement? The fence guy. Wilson. He's like Wilson, okay? You're never going to see his face probably. But, Steve is that silent guy in the background that really just does a lot. And I know people, sometimes you guys just don't ever see the stuff that goes on. You think that we just toss our animals out for 3 weeks and never see them or something. But Steve is here pretty much every day. And he checks on them and he makes sure things look good. So they're being supervised. Anyway, the point is, Steve does a great job, and we're really appreciative for everything that he's done. Just that extra set of eyes to keep track as we get our systems up and running, and we're kind of getting used to how this is flowing. It's just been grateful to have that. And even Brent, the two guys I bought these buffalo from, Steve and Brent even helps out with like giving advice for cubing and when to do it. And the people in the buffalo world are honestly some of the nicest, genuine people you have on earth. Like, they just really are.
Yeah.
And, if you want to be involved with some really down-to-earth, good people, get buffalo.
Right. We know there's not a lot of attention about buffalo out in YouTube world, and so we know there's a couple other channels. We're aware of them. We see their stuff. But it's really nice to have some friends down the road who've been doing this longer and who have really great advice and who even had our animals first and have invested their own interests to make sure we take care of our animals well. So we get some great input. We're not here alone doing this. We obviously already had training of info before, but we really appreciate those guys who are there and kind of behind the scenes. They're not out here on YouTube, but we really, really appreciate them.
So we've done 100 episodes, and you've seen us do all this stuff that if you took a picture of the place, it doesn't look any different. That's great for property tax purposes, but eventually we're going to have to do something to improve it visibly, okay? So I think there's some things, obviously, that we're going to be starting pretty soon. We told you about the garage. We need a place that we can just store the stuff here that's secured. So we're going to be working that small garage that I started just a couple episodes ago. And trying to get that more so going. Yeah,
and once that part's done, it'll help us kind of rearrange some of our pavilion space to utilize it better as we get more hay. So that'll be great. And depending on how things go, may even give us a kind of overnight option for us to be here longer term. That's not such a hardship, one day drive in, drive out.
The biggest one though is the handling facility. So this is what I was going to tell you earlier, but I held off. Anytime you do a reno or anytime you do a big project, talk about options, and it's fluid. It's always better as you've worked through stuff that you kind of come up to where it's going to end up being. So it takes time. We need to get that done probably by October. So I'm waiting for the weather to cool off a little bit and get a jump on that.
So the other thing about Jeff is he overestimates how quickly things will get done. So he just said October. In my head, I'm like December. Like, it's just not going to happen that quick. But that's okay, because it's okay. We'll get it done. But it's never fast enough, and things always come up. So we need a lot more contingency time.
So you're saying like 6 inches is actually 4?
I'm saying that things take time. Stop being weird.
In the future also, after the handling facility is miraculously done by October, end of October, we need to get a couple more pastures, and we're going to be working on the 1, 2, and 3 pastures. That's where I had started mowing previously, which I still haven't finished mowing. It's about 40 acres worth of land. We're going to tie it most likely into the lake. I vacillate between yes or no, but mostly probably tie it in with a lake and then make that a shared area where we can rotate through those 3 pastures and have access to the entire lake. The lake is about 1.5 acres of water, so it's a good sized chunk of water, and that'll help us in the summer months when it dries out, because currently we don't have a well, and we're just using rainwater. So that's part of our other goals.
Future
is to address water storage and collection, whether we expand other tanks here on this building or we get a well, an ag well, or do we just go get ourselves a full-blown human well?
Right,
You know,
water
deeper.
for people.
Yeah. So anyway, that's upcoming maybe sometime this year is our goal, and maybe use the NRCS or other programs from the government to help with that.
Yeah. I mean, we've got to figure out some electrical stuff, and maybe even some solar options. So we have a lot of goals. We've got to figure out which ones make sense for us and which buildings, and getting these steps taken care of financially to what works.
Yeah. And if you weren't sure, we do want other animals, okay? We're not just a one and done, or a one pony wonder. It's not just buffalo. We will have some pigs like we do now. So we do want to have some Highland coos, the cows, the little fuzzy cows.
Who's that cow?
They also don't need a lot of attention.
Right, really good meat too.
Yep, really good healthy meat. And then chickens.
Lots of chickens.
Lots of chickens.
Yeah. Obviously, we want good ranging chickens for the pasture, and then we'll probably even have areas of meat birds where we can just move them daily kind of system. But, that's just going to take time to set up some of those processes that need more attention. So.
Right, and we've held off partly because we don't live here.
Yeah.
So, if that manifests itself at some point that we can start living out here, then those will happen sooner than later. I mean, otherwise we've got to just get the systems really set in place before we take those steps. So those are coming down the road. We do know that, yes, get some chickens, get some this, why don't you try that? We're fully aware, but we just need to make sure that we're doing this in a good progressive way, that we don't go too fast.
It's hard because we learn something for everything we do.
Right. There's value in going through the progress of, this sucks, this isn't so bad, could it be better? Hey, this is really what I should have started with, right? There's benefit to doing all of that.
We had one friend who kept bugging Jeff every time. You need a tractor. You need a tractor. You need a tractor. Guess what? We needed a tractor.
Right.
Okay?
I would have bought that earlier.
So there you go. The tractor should have come right along with purchasing the land.
Right. I think 4 months it took us to get the tractor. We should have just bought the tractor.
Yeah. But it was good to try it without. Like, how long could we do the manual labor without having the heavy lifting with the tractor? But, man, that tractor's been handy.
So we did all of that fencing by hand. We started with a little hand auger, to then like the gas-powered auger, to, trying to not have to spend money. But, sometimes just spend the money.
Right.
So I would have gotten the tools earlier. I would have gotten the tractor earlier. But we wouldn't be who we are right now if we didn't kind of have that learning experience too. So I'm not sweating it, but tractor I would have done earlier. UTV.
Right, everybody, get yourselves a UTV and ATV, dude.
I know.
We would love one.
Donate it. I don't care, but I'm not spending $15,000 on it.
Or
I can
30.
get a well, or 30, right?
Those things aren't cheap, dang it.
So
we're working on figuring out what works for here while we're here, the 1 day a week.
Yep.
When or what does that turn into? Sometimes a used vehicle, is that just more cost effective? Is it not more cost effective? So
Yes.
we're working on it. It's in the thought process.
Yep. So would I have done that and bought that at the beginning? No.
No.
Flat out no. I still wouldn't have done it, because I could do all of this with just the truck. It's not ideal, I get that, but it saved me purchasing $15,000 piece of equipment. Now sure, I could finance it, but I'm so tired of financing stuff. I'm just tired of it, and I don't want to do that. So the tractor had to be, but you know what? I've got a truck. It's a Ford truck. Earn your stripes or get off the property. That's pretty much what I'm thinking. So anyway, all right, what else is on there? We did not get the animals as fast as we wanted. We wanted to be able to get this, the animals by late spring. So 2 months after we bought the property. This is kind of that 4 to 6 inches thing, right? We didn't get the animals until the February of this year. So that was like 8 months later, okay? So would we have done animals as fast? Would we have wanted them sooner? And I think, you get told a lot, get your infrastructure set up and then get your animals. And there's a lot of truth to that. I would love to have had more of my infrastructure, but if you wait for everything to be perfect, you're never going to get animals. So there's a balancing act of how much infrastructure you get to be able to sustain your animals and then slowly improve thereafter. I didn't expect to have 32 animals purchased, but opportunity with Brent came up for 24 and I took it. So could I have had a smaller herd? Yes, but I think they came in a good time. I wanted it sooner. I could argue that maybe I should have waited, but I don't think it was too bad. What about the pigs?
So we did pigs last summer, first round. It was kind of our, let's see how this works one day a week. It was a good learning experience. Unfortunately, that was not successful with the neighbors' dogs on our property killing our pigs. So we definitely learned from that. It was kind of a hard lesson. I don't know that I like that, but if we didn't learn it then, I don't think we would. We'd still have the same problem this year.
I don't think it was too soon. It wasn't too late, I can tell you that. But once we get this knowledge, then we're going to kind of reevaluate and reassess, relocate where they're going to be at, and change systems. I think just in summary from what we would do different, I don't know that I would have done it different as the beginner, but knowing what I know now, if I was to just jump on a brand new piece of land, it would definitely be have the proper tools for the job, and kind of lay things out. It's hard to plan this stuff. It's because you don't know. You're shooting in the dark. You're trying to get some advice. And how big do you make the pasture? What's a good route to do it? How do you make a fence? It's all from scratch, and night after night, just trying to research and figure stuff out. But it's possible. So, I think in summary, get some good tools and kind of plan. Don't get too big too fast. I probably am not a good example of that. But
if you don't put enough into your infrastructure first, the maintenance on your animals ends up taking time away from your projects and also money away from your projects, because we have to make sure they have their cubes or keep up on our hay or whatever it is, to where managing the animals makes other projects really difficult to really feel like you're accomplishing something. So as we're trying to open up another pasture area, that's going to be some long days to make sure the buffalo are taken care of and the pigs are checked on, and we have lots of time to work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, your current animals sacrifice time away from getting other things done. So, which is why you got to just balance it. So those are some of the things that we've learned, some things that we're going to be planning in the future. We're very appreciative, as always, for anybody who's ever come out and helped. So we hope you got something from this. We're going to leave it here. We appreciate you guys. Feel free to leave comments. We do enjoy seeing your comments. We enjoy the engagement. If you have some positive things to say, we're always grateful for it. But sometimes I might do something wrong. And even then, just, gently kind of say, hey, this would be a good idea to do it. And I read every one of them. I try to respond something to every one of them as well. So next 100 is coming up. I don't know how long it's going to take to get there. This one took 16 months. Like and subscribe. Help us grow this channel. We're doing it for mainly the posterity's sake, but it's always nice to make a little bit of money on the side from it too. So we need 1,000 subscribers. But we appreciate it. We hope you have a good day. We'll catch you later.
With you, I wanna stay.